I asked you to play tonight in place of with or without you. Oh, see the stone that's in a fun in our way. I don't know what Nick does. I'm starting to get paranoid of Nick. I was just sitting down thinking about him. I've been having dreams about Nick lately. It's weird. Web TV, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's when things started to change. That was like the third or the fourth degree of our relationship. And Nick married one of my old girlfriends. He married this girl Danielle, and he couldn't have picked a better wife. She's like, it's kind of weird how kids like are born in certain neighborhoods that come out a certain way. Like Danielle was like that, but now I'm real paranoid about Nick. I don't think Nick would keep this up for this long to get his dick off. But then again, what's Christy Clark? What's Nick doing? And what's somebody else doing in the South? I know we're all part of the underworld. I don't know how Ronnie got involved in all this, or Christy. It's beyond me. But I think Ronnie's still alive, too. And I still got serious reservations about Nick. I can't open that door yet because I feel like Tim. I feel like I was abandoned by him. Well, I mean, he got with Nick. It's different. We broke up in the band we had. He was like my girlfriend. You can really say that because when you're in a band like that, that's the way it is. And he was fine. I was happy he was with Danielle. Because I just wanted to do drugs. It's like asking about RPX. What's RPX do? I met him when he was 11. I was 11 years old. And he was like 9 years old. You know? When you put the gas on too long, you get that good, what is it? Who's the bitch who put her head in the oven? My poet bitch. Ted and what's her name? What's her name? I can't think of it. I've been trying to think of her name for days. The poet. She did Lady Lazarus. The fuck is her name? Sylvia Plath. There it is. Sylvia Plath. What was I saying about that? Robert's got something to do with it. I'm gonna punch him dead in the fucking face. Nick's got something to do with it, and if he does, I'm gonna have to punch Nick in the face. Nick has been, when Nick joined, I met Nick at Oneida Middle School. We got a lot of Indian names for shit out here. You could be like, I went to the Iroquois school. I went to the Tomahawk. I went to the fucking Oneida. Me and Nick came off the Oneida Reserve as Indians doing our war dance and doing that shit. And we used to smoke Bull Durhams. And we used to smoke Special 10s back when they came in the 10-pack. Hanging out at the gas station. And Nick played the guitar. And he wear the denim jacket with the bleach on it and the Megadeth decal that you sew in that you got to get your mother to sew. Nick had that, the peace cells on his denim jacket with the sleeves cut off. He had the mullet and the shit in back and the pompadour. He had that, and he had the Epiphone guitar. He had the mint green one, looked like that one. It was mint or greener. And he played that guitar. But Nick played the bass. Nick then got a hold of the Diamond Neck 78 P bass, and then he played that in my group. We did everything together. What I remember about Nick, when he came back for the Miserables, he was in a hard way, man. He was like, I've been sleeping in the woods, and he's like, I'm like, what are you doing sleeping in the woods? I read about guys like that. What's wrong with you? And he looked like the dude from at that point, They used to call us like Gotti and Gravano because he looked like a little Sammy the Bull back then. When Sammy was real young, and you see him and he had those diamond eyes that would cut right through your soul, and those stares, the way he would flick his eyes. And I'd be like, and he'd come over and he would come over to my house after school and he'd be like, I get Guitar Player magazine. It's so cute. Fucking Nick. I get Guitar Player magazine and I've been reading the tabs in the magazine and I could play these riffs real good. I'm just like, oh, you sweet thing, aren't you? And it was good. And he was always homeless in the beginning. Nick come up from the underground. Nick come right up from the underground. Right from the sand in the desert. Come up like a presto, you know? Abracadabra. And he'd be there with his guitar. And he would snake charm me with his guitar. And I'd be like, oh my God. Yeah. And, what's her name didn't die, did she? Nick's old girlfriend, the black girl? I hope not. That'd be fucked up. And then someone else said Helen died. Summer told me a long time ago to ask Nick, and I said, yeah, I will. And I'm wondering why she's talking about Nick, and he's telling me about hanging out with... I don't want to hear that. That's Summer for you. But that's how it goes. I always thought I should have got Nick with Sue's little sister. But then I'd have to trade. But I don't want to trade. I just want those two bitches in the room. The good pussy, though. Remember that? Remember how that used to go? Used to come about freely, on its own volition, out of nowhere. We gotta get a gangbang from high. Everybody's gonna do their high school graduate. Well, think about it. They already did it, but they might do another one. High school reunion and shit. Me and Nick did not graduate from that school. Nick's like, yeah, I got better shit to do. Nick got busted for walking out. What was he telling me the one time? I think his last day at school was he got busted. I think we had the same principal because in our school we had 3 different principals. And Nick got busted for lighting up a joint walking outside. They yoked him up. Where the fuck is Raya? We should have Nick. This is what I would tell Nick. If you can get Nick on here to back me up and find him on the internet and Danielle, oh my God, I would give up. So I'll auction a quarter of these guitars up if I could get Danielle or Nick to give up some memories from back in the day, because we had a lot of tales. It's hard being a band in upstate New York. Especially when you're young and depressed. We all suffered from bipolar depression and we're alcoholics and drug addicts. Way too young. We grew up way too quick. And when we did, we grew up through the ice of... It's just forever fall or winter in upstate New York. It's forever cold. It's like Seattle or something. Or it's like fucking England. It's always ice brick fucking cold. And you're already depressed and you want to kill yourself as a teenager. And you're in a band at least, and that's the only thing keeping you alive is that and your steady pussy flow. And then God forbid your girl should break up with you because that will fuck up your band and that will fuck up your whole life. You couldn't even graduate. Your whole life was a future of welfare, and you knew what kind of fucking garbage you were from the start. And you're like, this is just not. And you have these big lofty ideas of the fucking Beatles and shit that is so fucking far out of reach that you could never aspire to. And for some reason, these little flowers like me and Nick would thrive and come up like roses through fucking Spanish Harlem. And now we're just, we were special. We had something special. I can go on forever about that. But it's like no other place. It ain't like sunny California. It was a kiss your ass goodbye. That was not going to happen. We were not going to get to the land of good and plenty and coke and honey. It wasn't going to happen. No matter what we did. VD struck us down. Drugs struck us down. Bitches struck us down. Booze struck us down. Other bands came in, but they never penetrated that ethic of good, rich, fuck your world up rock that I gave them. But still in all, it didn't help the man's day when you had to wake up and fight that. And then get on the bus line and go to Manpower or go to fucking jail. And you ain't Jim Morrison, Nick. What the fuck you doing sleeping in the woods in upstate New York? That's the way it goes. That's the way the ball bounces, G. Up here. Ah. My girl living at the homeless shelter now. I gotta get her up out of there. Good luck with that. Smoking them rocks and... I miss my cat, though.